Hello, everybody, and welcome to Battle of the Bangers Season 5. I'm your host.
Wow.
My name is Tyler, and I'm once again joined by the boys. We have Brennan.
What's going on, folks?
And we have Kyle.
Hello.
So, after deviating into the world of pop punk, which was a huge mistake, we are now back doing another season of what the people want, Dance Gavin Dance related battles and content. And this season is very special. We are basing the theme of this season on a recommendation from one of our most loyal Listen-A-Lot lads, I believe Joseph Roche? I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Provided us with the idea for this, of doing all the Robot with Human Hair songs against each other to determine what's the best one. We thought that's a pretty good idea, so we're doing it. Let's load up the bracket here and see what we have to work with. Wow, look at all those Robot with Human Hair songs. There sure are a lot of them. And I sure didn't label them as the full names on this bracket because they wouldn't fit. But you know what they are. So we're kicking it off. Round 1, we got Son of Robot versus the Robot with Human Hair Part 2. And wow, we've never had to talk about Everything I Say Is Royal Ocean on this channel ever before, I don't think. So I guess we'll start with Part 2. Just since we've never ever talked about this song before. Brandon, I want to hand it off to you first. What do you think of this track?
Whatever I Say Is Royal Ocean is definitely not a bad start for DGD. Obviously this is back Johnny Craig era. This is before DBM1. It's not a bad song. Like, you do hear Johnny Craig really kind of do his thing. He really does go off with it. Instrumentals are pretty hectic, pretty much what you would expect from a DGD release, especially back in the day. I think it's a good song, and I enjoy it. And even though I'm not the biggest fan of Whatever I Say Is Royal Ocean, I think that the Robot with Human Hair tracks are probably the cream of the crop as far as that goes. So I think it's definitely a worthy contender. If that's what you have to say about that. You want me to go into Son of Robot, or are we just talking about Thingamajig?
Kyle, what do you think of this track? I guess we'll go around and talk about this first.
I think the track is pretty solid. It's been a hot minute since I've even dipped into the Royal Ocean. And it was a fun time. And I think Robot 2 is one of my personal favorites after re-listening to the whole album or EP.
You listened to the whole EP?
Yeah, just for fun the other day. I was just I went through it again. Because I was just fuck it, And it's fun to see where they came from, And I think this song is a great example of them wanting having so many ideas and trying to execute them all in one track. You've got some really cool build up bits with John really distant. Legitimately really far from the mic. It's not even it's not oh, we're gonna do an effect. It sounds like he's just standing across the room.
It probably was. It really sounds like that kind of was just recorded in their garage
for sure.
As their first attempt. Which respect.
No,
I dig the energy, yeah.
I think that's just what I get from this track in general. It's got a lot of cool ideas. They're just not executed to the level that we really know DGD for, and that's totally okay. You got to start somewhere.
You're right. Yeah.
I don't know. It's cool. Got some cool stuff going on in it, and I can see where their brains started, and it's cool. But other than that, the track doesn't really grip me. I don't really like that Destiny screamy bit because it just doesn't sound that good because it's just sounds like he's across the room. I will say the biggest thing for me was that one drum buildup that happened at the 3:20 mark. There's a really cool drum build-up moment that's just goes really hard. And I was like, this is sick. Hell yeah. It just really gripped me. I don't know. But overall, I don't know. Track is good. Track is good.
Fair enough.
Track is good.
I definitely don't think it's a bad track. It really was just kind of a huge weird experience to go back to the very, very beginning after binging Jackpot Juicer so long. Like you said, Kyle, it was wow, if I didn't realize how far they'd come before, I definitely do now, because this is that album came out 16 years ago or something, I think. Maybe more than that.
Yeah, 2006, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so that was 16 years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Which is insane that the band has even been around that long. yeah, it's cool. It's a nice, fun little time capsule, and I don't think the song is bad. But that being said, let's hop into it, talking about the competition here. Everybody's least favorite album opener, Son of Robot.
Would you like me to go first? Or?
Yeah, let's throw it back to you, Brennan.
Yeah, Son of Robot. Definitely, probably their weakest album opener, or at least one of. Like, I think it's a good song. Like, I like Son of Robot, and I think it's, I think it does what it needs to do. Kind of gives you a little taste of like what the album is going to be like. But to me, it can feel a little formulaic. It can feel a little safe. It's not like, We Own the Night or like Chucky versus the Giant Tortoise, like totally rocking your expectations to start an album. But I think it's just solid. Obviously, definitely not the best song on its own album, but it is Son of Robot. So I think it's good. It's just not great. So that's my opinion of the track, at least.
Cool. Very, very similar take to the other song, honestly.
Yeah, actually.
I think this is, in my head, this is actually kind of close.
Ooh, I disagree. Kyle, where are you at with Son of Robot?
Also disagree. I've always really liked Son of Robot. It's really hard to stand out in DGD as an album opener when they have so many like god tier songs for them as their album openers.
Fair, yeah.
So the fact that this song is like super solid and better than other songs on its own album as well as songs from other albums, I think it gets lost in the race of album openers in my mind sometimes. Because overall, I think like as an album opener, it's got like a really awesome, like especially like beginning instrumental that really kind of like sets the tone, to move forward. And the thing that like kills me about the song, because like I could kind of gush about it because I really do like this track, but is like the flow of this song is so locked in at all times. Like it feels like the way this song moves and transitions from unclean to clean to chorus back to like bridge, it's just so, in a way, Brennan, formulaic, but I think in a good way. Like it knows where it's gonna go and it shifts so perfectly. Like transitional wise, I think some of the best on that album at the very least. It gets moving and it does not stop until you have like a really satisfying just like bang of an ending there. And I think it's super solid as a track.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very much in the vein of like, it's definitely not my favorite Dance Gavin Dance song, and it's certainly not my favorite album opener of theirs. But from like an objective standpoint, like in a vacuum, it is objectively a very good song and a very well structured song, and it has it's night and day in my eyes comparing these two tracks. And it's not really fair to Robot Part 2 because like it's the fucking beginning of their career like a million years ago. It's just not like that refined. But Son of Robot, while it is not my personal favorite and it would never make like my top personal list or anything, I can't really hold anything against it. I don't think it really does anything wrong. I think kind of like what you were saying, Kyle, like it knows what it wants to be and it's locked in and it just executes it at a very high level the whole time. The big thing for me with this song is it's just like a very like, you get to experience that dichotomy of the in your face, unclean, like screaming insanity, and also the extremely like smooth stripped down stuff with Tillian. Like it's kind of taking the craziness that is DGD and just breaking it down to its core halves and just like letting you experience both of those like in their purest form in one song. And I think that's really cool. So I mean, not to jump the gun, but I'm definitely going to be voting for Son of Robot in this instance. I don't know if I'll vote for them in the semis, but in my eyes, it deserves to be the one moving on. But that's just me. Brennan, what do you think?
I think, I think the vote is obvious. It is Son of Robot. However, I don't think Son of Robot is that great as a track. It's all right. I think it definitely smokes part 2, but I think the scoreboard's going to be a lot more lopsided than I feel like it is. But yeah, I'm voting Son of Robot. I think it's obvious, but not super obvious.
Kyle? I mean, your vote doesn't matter, but
Yeah. It's Son of Robot.
Yeah.
Like, if it wasn't obvious that I was I think the only obvious vote, honestly, like going into this. But I totally agree with you, Brennan. I think that especially when I saw like the bracket that you created, Tyler, I was like, oh, this is one-sided as hell. But then revisiting it, it ended up being like I had a second thought, you know, like I thought about it a little bit more. And it's because even at a very exposed and like young level, you can still feel like the creative energy, the ideas, and it's so cool that like it definitely deserves to be here against these other songs. And it's seed number 8. That's awesome. That doesn't usually happen for us. It's usually just an absolute giga blowout and we just move on. So
yeah. The 8th seed actually had some legs to stand on. Just like very skinny, like me legs.
Yeah,
like it doesn't do leg day. Like you
it had stilts.
Yeah.
That's about it.
So first round is done. Son of Robot is moving on to the semifinals, where it will take on the winner of next week's matchup, Death of the Robot with Human Hair, or Robot with Human Hair Part 2.5, which is going to be an extremely close matchup.
Spicy.
They are 2 of my favorite Robot tracks, if I'm being completely honest. So
same.
Not looking forward to that one, but if you're looking forward to it, then consider subscribing to the Talks a Lot Boys and ringing that bell so you get notified whenever next week's episode drops. Also, make sure you give this video a like if you liked it, because that really does help out a lot. And comment below what you thought about this matchup. Do you agree with our 3-0 victory, handing it to Son of Robot? Or are you like a everything I say is Royal Ocean stan? Are you like the one person on Earth who thinks that's like the peak of their work? Like, let us know if you exist. I just want to know who you are. Yeah, but that's going to do it for us today. We have been the Talks a Lot Boys, and we will talk a whole lot more next time. See you later.